Welcome to Bible Teaching Hub, where timeless truth meets today's urgent questions. Today's question cuts straight to the heart of prophecy and politics. Do the rising tensions between the United States and China fulfill biblical end-time prophecy? What does the Bible really say about the rise of powerful nations in the East? Does America have a prophetic role? And are economic weapons like tariffs part of God's unfolding plan? Let's open the Word together and watch the news through the lens of Scripture. From Genesis to Revelation, God has always used nations to accomplish his purposes, both to bless and to judge. Daniel chapter 2 verse 21 tells us he changes times and seasons. He deposes kings and raises up others. The empires of Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome were all instruments of his divine plan. So it shouldn't surprise us when modern nations like the United States or China are used the same way. The name China doesn't appear in the Bible, but some scholars believe it may be referenced symbolically. Isaiah chapter 49 verse 12 refers to a distant nation called Sinim. Some believe Sinim could be an ancient term for China. This would place China in the context of God's redemptive plan. More compelling is Revelation chapter 16 verse 12. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the east. Who are the kings of the east? Some prophetic teachers suggest China is a primary candidate. China's growing economic and military power fits the profile of a dominant Eastern power preparing to cross into the prophetic spotlight. The Bible doesn't mention tariffs, but it speaks frequently of economic control and collapse. Revelation chapter 13 verse 17 warns of a day when no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark. This is economic restriction as a weapon of control. Now consider modern events: trade wars, tariffs, economic sanctions. Former and now current President Donald Trump used and now continues to use tariffs as a weapon against China, a non-military but powerful form of warfare. Could this be a foreshadowing of a much larger global economic confrontation? Even now, the United States and China are locked in economic chess, with real-world effects: inflation, supply chain disruptions, and military posturing in the South China Sea. Revelation chapter 18 speaks of the fall of Babylon the Great, a wealthy global trade empire. Revelation 18 verses 11 through 13 describe merchants mourning because no one buys their cargo anymore. Could this symbolize a future collapse of global trade? Is Babylon spiritual, literal, or symbolic of a major economy, perhaps even America? Verse 3 states, "The merchants of the earth have grown rich from her excessive luxuries." Many see the United States as fitting this profile, a consumer-driven empire, deeply entangled in trade with China and the world. If America represents modern Babylon in some way, and China the kings of the East, then we are witnessing a dramatic prophetic convergence. Daniel chapter 7 and Revelation chapter 13 both speak of beasts, symbols of kingdoms that rise and fall. Today, China is building the largest navy on Earth, an AI surveillance state, and global trade dominance through its Belt and Road Initiative. Meanwhile, America faces internal division, moral decline, and mounting debt. Could this be a divinely orchestrated shift, a judgment or transition setting the stage for end-time events? Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24 verses 6 and 7, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom." This is not just about tanks and missiles. Today, currency wars, cyber attacks, and tariffs are fulfilling that prophecy in economic form. Prophecy isn't just about headlines, it's a call to holiness, urgency, and readiness. While the US-China tension may or may not be the direct fulfillment of a specific prophecy, it definitely fits the pattern Scripture describes: economic shakings, rising Eastern powers, global trade collapse, and spiritual confusion. Jesus said in Luke chapter 21 verse 28, "When these things begin to take place, lift up your heads because your redemption is drawing near." Now is the time for the church to pray with urgency, preach with clarity, and prepare spiritually. So, do US-China tensions fulfill end-time prophecy? They don't complete it, but they may signal its nearness. We are witnessing signs in economics, diplomacy, and morality that match the warnings of Scripture. The wise will discern. The church must awaken. Will you be ready? Will you warn others? Subscribe to Bible Teaching Hub, where we study prophecy not to entertain, but to prepare. Drop a comment, Do you think China plays a role in the end times? Let's talk about it. And remember, over 90% of prophecy has already been fulfilled. What we're seeing today could be the final 10%.